Hello, everyone. And thank you for joining us this evening. We will get started shortly. While you wait, please drop any of your questions in the Q&A box. We will get to those questions throughout the webinar, and at the end, we should have time to go over and through those questions. So just give us a few moments while we wait for a few more people to join us. But welcome and thank you for being here.
Looks like we have a couple more people trickling in, so maybe we'll wait one more minute to ensure that we have plenty of time for folks to join. We really do appreciate you giving us your evening tonight to learn more about this program.
What do you say, Amanda? 602, 603?
I say about 6:02,
okay.
just so that we have enough time at the end to answer questions.
Okay.
And as Anita mentioned, as more folks are coming in, please use that Q&A box to ask your questions throughout. We may not address them as they are being dropped into the chat, but we will circle back around at the end to ensure that we can address your questions. If we don't have the exact answers to them right now, we will note them and we will put them in our FAQ section of this program as well.
All right.
And it is 3:02, so Anita, why don't you kick us off?
Absolutely. Thanks, Amanda. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We are super excited to be here with you to present this webinar on Invest Atlanta's Anti-Displacement Tax Relief Fund Program. My name is Anita Allgood. I have the pleasure of serving as the Vice President of Single Family and Homeownership for Invest Atlanta. And let's talk a little bit about what to expect this evening. So I'll always start every presentation with a little bit about Invest Atlanta and Invest Atlanta overview. And then we'll do some introductions as I am sharing this presentation with our partners at Forward. And then I'll talk about the program overview. We'll give you the eligibility requirements, the documents that you will need to provide in order to participate. And then I'll turn it over to my colleagues over at Forward to talk to you a little bit about the application process, the review process, the selection process, and how we will award these funds. And then lastly, we will get all of your questions answered. Okay? So again, starting every presentation off with a little bit about Invest Atlanta. Hopefully you all are familiar with Invest Atlanta, but Invest Atlanta is the economic development authority for the city of Atlanta. And so our job, in essence, is to grow the economy for the city and to really increase prosperity for all Atlantans. And we will do that in a number of ways. We really serve as the implementation agent for the city. And so we administer incentives like small business loans, developer incentives for the creation of affordable housing, down payment assistance for those buying their homes in the city, and oftentimes place-based initiatives. So a lot of activity to grow the economy for the city. But what we also understand is that these types of activities can have unintended consequences, like increased property taxes, right? When we have these catalytic projects, it's going to increase the property taxes for the homeowners in and around those areas. And sometimes this will result in displacement of our most vulnerable population. So this is why we created the program that we're going to talk to you about, our anti-displacement tax relief program. This is the reason why we've created it and why we want to talk to you about that program today. So let's do some introductions. You all know me. Again, I'm Anita Allgood. And I want to introduce my colleague, Marquita Key. She serves as our anti-displacement manager, our homeownership anti-displacement manager. My team is extremely small, but mighty. There are only four of us in our homeownership department, and only the two of us work on this program. And for that reason, we have enlisted the help of our partners over at Forward. And I will kick it over to Amanda Kopczynski so that she can introduce herself and Tamina Martelli, and they can tell you a little bit about Forward and what they do.
Thank you so much, Anita. Happy to be here tonight, everybody. My name is Amanda Kopczynski. I am a senior program manager at Forward, and I've had the privilege of working with Invest Atlanta really closely over the last couple of months to help develop this program. A little bit later on in this presentation, I'm going to walk you through how to apply for this program and what you can expect from us. I'm also joined today, as Anita mentioned, with Tamina Martelli, one of our directors at Forward, and she's going to share a little bit more about herself and about Forward as an organization.
Thanks, Amanda. Hello, everyone. My name is Tamina Martelli, and I'm the Director of Client Services here at Forward. My team and I are super excited to work together, and we have been working with Invest Atlanta to bring this very timely program to life. And so let me tell you a little bit about Forward. I have been with Forward for several years, and we work across the United States partnering with governments and organizations to deliver resources and funding to their communities. We pride ourselves really on providing human-centered technology to meet the needs of each community. So for this particular program, we're also very excited to partner with local community-based organizations such as Meals on Wheels Atlanta and Synergy Real Estate Group, who may work closely with you all to assist you in applying for this program.
And Anita, we're going to turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it. Okay, everyone, let's get into the nuts and bolts of this program. Let's talk about this program overview. Again, as I stated, we understand that our work does cause property taxes to increase for homeowners. So the goal of this program is to help senior homeowners over the age of 60 to stay in their homes by covering the extra costs from the rising property taxes. And so an approved applicant will receive tax credit to cover an increased tax above the base amount. As you see on the screen there, Dickens and his administration is working really hard to minimize displacement for our most vulnerable residents, and that is what this program will do. It is funded by private resources coming from the Centennial Yards Housing Trust Fund. We have been awarded $10 million from that fund for this program. And we do anticipate receiving a large number of applicants. And so we will randomly select 200 applicants to participate in the program this year. You should not be concerned about that, though, because this is a program that will reopen for participation every year. So we'll start this pilot program with 200 applications, and then we'll open the application every year. And we do plan to open the application earlier in the year next year. So if you don't get in this year, please don't be alarmed. You can try again next year. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the eligibility requirements. And so first things first, you've got to be either 60 or above, age 60 or above, living in the city limits of Atlanta since 2015. So city limits of Atlanta is the incorporated city limits. So, for instance, East Point, that's not Atlanta, right? There are a lot of different neighborhoods that surround Atlanta, on the edge of Atlanta, that have an Atlanta address, but are not technically the incorporated city limits of Atlanta. So you must be living inside the city limits of Atlanta for the last since 2015. And additionally, you must reside in one of the pilot area footprints. And I'll talk a little bit about those in a moment. But we are rolling this program out as a pilot. So there is a pilot area that goes along with that. Okay. You must have an active city and county homestead exemption. So if we're going to be covering some of your tax liability, we want to make sure that you have done your part in getting the necessary homestead exemptions that would reduce that tax liability in the first place. Okay. The program requires that your household income is 60% of the area median income or below. And I'll talk a little bit more about that going forward. You must have clear title and ownership to the property, and you must not have any encumbrances attached to the property. And so by encumbrances, I mean no tax liens, no FIFAs, nothing other than maybe your first mortgage or second mortgage, those types of loans/liens against the property. Anything else will render you ineligible. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit more detail about these pilot area neighborhoods that I talked about. So you see them all listed on the screen. The program is going to start in 65 neighborhoods within the city of Atlanta. And so how did we come to these neighborhoods is probably what you would be asking. Well, in preparation for launching this program, we did a lot of research. We worked with a consultant for about a year, and we did research on the neighborhoods in the city of Atlanta. And they identified for us those neighborhoods that had a high concentration of owner-occupied and senior households below 60% of the area median income. Additionally, they did a displacement risk analysis and paired those two analyses together to determine the neighborhoods that have the highest risk of displacement. And so this is how we came to this list of 65 eligible neighborhoods for the pilot program. Now, the goal for this program is to eventually roll out the program across the city, citywide, but we are starting with these 65 pilot area neighborhoods. So if you're not in one of these neighborhoods, you just kind of got to hold on for us as we roll out to the rest of the city. Okay? All right. Now let's talk a little bit about AMI, area median income. You'll hear people use the AMI acronym a lot. But, area median income is a tool that's used by HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, to determine the average income of households in different areas. So it really represents the midpoint of an area's income distribution. And so, for example, the Atlanta MSA, which is Metropolitan Statistical Area, includes Sandy Springs. Now, if you're from Atlanta, you know that Sandy Springs is on the high end of the income spectrum, but it also includes Vine City, which we also know historically has been on the lower end of the income spectrum. And so together, they take that information and come up with an area median income. And so what you see on the screen currently is 60% of the area median income for the city of Atlanta. And that is the requirement for this program. You must be at 60% of the area median income, household income, in order to qualify for the program. So when we say household income, that means that we are going to count the income of every working person that lives in that home, okay? So for instance, if it's mom, dad, and baby, that is a 3-person household. Children represent household members. So that would be a 3-person household. And the income of the 2 working people could not be more than $58,080, what you see on the screen. So if you are a senior that maybe your grandchildren live with you, Your grandchildren can serve as household members. Obviously, most of them are not working, but if there is someone in the age of 17 that is working, that lives in your household, we will count their income towards eligibility. Okay? All right. Now let's talk about what type of documents you're going to need to be able to provide in order to determine your eligibility. Okay, so we're going to need to be able to identify you. And what you will use to determine that is some type of state or government issued ID. So a state identification card, a driver's license, a passport, any of those are the documents that we will take to determine your identity. Okay, we're also going to have to be able to verify your residency. Remember, the program requires that you have been living in your home and owned your home since 2015. Okay, so you can use a mortgage statement to do that, a utility bill, your deed to your home. Those are things that will tell us how long you've actually been in your home. And then lastly, we've got to verify your income, right? There's an income requirement to this program. So we're going to collect your W-2s, your pay stubs, your Social Security income. If you receive retirement, we will want to see that retirement benefits letter so that we can determine what your income is to determine whether or not you qualify for the program. So once this application opens, these are the documents that we're going to ask you for. If for some reason we don't receive all of the documents that we need to make a determination, the forward staff is going to contact you to request any additional documents that we might need to make a determination as to your eligibility. In that instance, you're going to have 5 days to respond. And if they do not hear back from you, then your application is going to be denied for this year, and you're going to have to apply again next year, okay? So you're going to need to pay attention once you've applied to ensure that everything that the forward team needs is in and that they're not reaching out to you for additional information, okay? So at this point, I'm going to hand this presentation over to Amanda. She's going to talk to you a little bit about the application process.
Thank you so much, Anita. That was a great, thorough and comprehensive overview of the program. And so now I'm going to do a brief walkthrough of the application process. We've created this really quick video for you to watch as I explain the details of how to go through account setup all the way to application submission. So as you can see in the video, Forward's secure system asks you to begin by creating an account with us using your name and your email address. So you'll enter in your name, your email address, and a secure password. Be sure to check your email for a link to confirm your new account information with us. Then, after you have created this password, and as you can see, it's a pretty typical standard password. You'll need 8 characters, uppercase, lowercase, etc. And you'll get to, as soon as that has been confirmed and you've looked in your email for that confirmation link, you're going to enter in your new username and email. You're going to enter in your password, and now you can officially select the Invest Atlanta program. As you go through the eligibility questions, please begin as carefully and accurately as possible. We do go through and verify all of your answers against all of the documents that you have provided. So if you have accidentally hit an incorrect button that doesn't represent your accurate information, we will be able to reach out to you. Also, if you have somebody who is assisting you with your application, you will have that person answer questions that pertain to them. There are a couple of questions, and this will help us identify who to contact in case we need to reach out to you for that further information. The application is fairly short, and we're only going to ask you questions that relate to your identity, to the home that you are applying for, and then for the eligibility criteria of the program. Also, it's a really good idea to prepare all of those documents that Anita referred to a couple of minutes ago so that you have them at the ready to make this process a little bit easier and a little bit quicker. And another thing I really want to ensure you understand is that you do need to have your property tax ID or your parcel number to apply for this program. And if you don't have that on the top of your mind, you can refer to your property deed or your real estate tax documents for that parcel number. We do use that number to verify your address and to verify home ownership. Once you have answered all of the questions, you will be asked to upload the documents that Anita mentioned earlier. After you enter in all of the household members, of course. And again, Forward's platform is extremely secure. We guarantee your information will stay in the platform. It will not be shared with anyone, and it will be reviewed by a Forward specialist in a timely manner. So, after you have submitted and uploaded all of your documents, you will hit submit. After you hit save, you'll be able to give an electronic signature, of course, and I'll let the video catch up with me really quickly. You'll hit submit, and then you will see that you have securely submitted your application. You will have an ID number. You will see that the status of your application is received. Now, you will also receive a text message and an email confirming that we at Forward have received your secure application. And all of the information will be reviewed for accuracy by the Forward team. So I know that we went through that rather quickly. And if technology is not your strong point, please don't worry. We will have 2 in-person events to assist you with this application. I'll be sure to talk more about those events later in this presentation. And please rest assured we are all here to help you and make sure that the application process goes as smoothly as possible. Now, just in case you're wondering what happens to all of your information after you have uploaded it, you have submitted it to Forward. So after you have hit submit, specialists at Forward will review all of your information to ensure that all of the documents you have uploaded have come through to us clearly. They are accurate. We can see that that is a valid photo ID. We can see your income statements and your residency documents. We will also look at all of the basic data collected, so your name, your contact information, and we'll check that against all of the documents that you uploaded. So we'll ensure that the date of birth and the name that you entered into the application matches the ID and other documents that you have submitted. We will also be able to verify if the property is in one of those 65 neighborhoods that Anita shared with us earlier. We will also look to see if you are enrolled in the homestead exemption programs for the city and the county. We have all of that information. And then we will also look to ensure that you have a clear title, that there are no liens or encumbrances attached to your title. And our specialists will also look over your income documents to ensure that you are at or below that 60% AMI limit. And I'm sure you're very much wondering how applicants may be selected. So Invest Atlanta thinks the fairest way to do this is through a public webinar. So after you have submitted your application, after you have been verified by Forward specialists that all of your information is eligible, then we will host a public webinar live virtual event on September 10th. If we have more than 200 eligible applications, we are going to use an online tool that randomly picks recipients. We will use that parcel ID number that you provided during the application process. So please rest assured, no names, no addresses will be available during this webinar. And also, don't worry if you can't make it to the live session. We will record it just as we have recorded this session, and we will put it on Invest Atlanta's website for you to watch later. We will also notify the 200 applicants that were randomly selected via email, text message, and/or a phone call. And as far as the award process goes, the selected applicants' names and parcel IDs will be sent to the Fulton County Board of Assessors. Once the tax increase amount is confirmed for that parcel, the list of applicants will be sent to Invest Atlanta to make payment to the county. So just to be really clear, this will show as a tax credit to the applicant. The payment goes directly to the county and the applicant will not receive any funds directly. The applicants will be notified of their award amount via a letter sent out probably sometime in October. The award amount will be the increase in property taxes from 2023 to 2024. So, for instance, if your 2024 property tax has increased by $200, your award credit will be $200. Invest Atlanta will send that $200 directly to the county on your behalf, and that will be credited to your account. So I wanted to share with you some program communication. You may have received this postcard in the mail in recent weeks, and if you haven't received it yet, you may receive it shortly. This postcard is an easy reference for some key dates for the program, which I'll get into in detail in just a moment, as well as some in-person events you are all welcome to attend. You may also receive a flyer with the same information. So please hang on to your postcard, hang on to your flyer. You can refer back to that if you have any questions. It has some really amazing information. It has the website for you to go to. It has email and phone number for you if you have any questions for us, as well as the program website detailing all the same information on that website that you will have received in this webinar today. So here are those key dates for the program. The most important one is the application dates. So our application opens on Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. And that window stays open until Saturday, August 17th, 2024. And that means you have 1 month to complete and submit your application. Some in-person events will take place to assist you in your application process. I'll get more detailed on that in some coming slides, but I do want to note that the first in-person event is this upcoming Saturday. It will be an information session, and then we will have in-person application assistance events a couple times in August. And so because we do anticipate, as Anita mentioned, receiving a large number of applications, we will host that live virtual event on Tuesday, September 10th, to randomly select the 200 awardees for the first year of this program. And then the tax credit will be applied to the selected applicant's tax bill sometime in early October. We're anticipating just about October 1st. And as I mentioned, we have an upcoming live in-person event on this Saturday, July 13th. We will host an information session, so similar to this webinar, but it will be interactive. We can go more into detail. We will be available to answer your questions. I want to note that even though it says we have 2 sessions, those are the same sessions. We don't expect you to attend both of them. We would like you to attend either session 1 at 9 a.m. or session 2 at 12 p.m. Both of these sessions will be held at the C.T. Martin Natatorium and Recreation Center. We would love for you to all come out and ask your questions, and then please invite other people that you think may not have heard about this program or may not know that this information session will be going on, if you think that they would benefit from attending this event. And similarly, we are going to have 2 application assistance events. One of them will be on Saturday, August 3rd from 9 to 1. The other on Tuesday, August 6th from 9 to 12. Both of these will take place at the Dennard Center at the Atlanta Technical College, and there will be many people available in person to assist you with your application. And so let's say you have started an application, but you ran into a glitch trying to upload your documents. Please bring your documents to this in-person event. We can figure out where you left off in your application, and we can assist you in uploading those. We will have scanners with you or with us, so we will just upload your documents and give them right back to you. There's no need for us to keep those documents, and we can assist you in applying for and submitting that application. We do want to stress that it is important to note all of the documents that you need to bring with you so that when you arrive, we can have the application process go smoothly. And then by the time you leave, you will be completely done. Your application will be submitted. You won't have to return later with a forgotten document. Here is the program website we would love for you to visit. This website will also, on July 17th, be the website you go to apply for this program. That application is not live yet, but it will be next Wednesday. This is also a QR code that goes directly to this website as well. So if you happen to have your phone on you right now, you can open up your phone camera, you can point it at the QR code and quickly go to the website. That website is full of FAQs, all of the same information that you have received in this presentation. And then also, if you would prefer to make a phone call, our phone number is 855-334-9513. You are welcome to call us anytime for further information. The website will probably be the most comprehensive as it lists out all 65 of those neighborhoods and all of the supporting documents that you will need to have at the ready as you apply for this program. And that concludes this presentation. So now we want to take the rest of the time to answer your questions. First, we're going to go through the questions that have already been asked in the Q&A box throughout the presentation, and then we hope to address any remaining questions that come up. And so I am going to defer to the Invest Atlanta folks to ask some of the questions that may have come up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Amanda. Great job. All right, so we do have a couple of questions in the chat. Is there a time frame that you must have occupied the property or the deed being in the current occupant's name to be eligible? So yes, you must have owned the property since 2015. You should have been in that home since 2015, okay? Do you need to have your home free and clear of mortgage to be eligible? No, you do not. It's perfectly okay for you to have a mortgage or even a second mortgage. When we say encumbrances, we're talking about things like tax liens, things like FIFAs, things that would challenge your ownership if it came down to it. Your first mortgage, second mortgage, not a problem. Will the tax benefit difference be for the city and the county? Yes, it will be for both. And I saw a question in the chat earlier that asked if you could start your application and then come back to it, or if it had to be completed in one setting. Tamina, I know you answered that question. I believe the answer is yes, you can start and stop your application. I just wanted to say that for everyone in the group that may not be looking at the chat. That's correct, yes?
Yes, you can save it all along the way. You can take your time. And so again, it can even take several days. So you can save it all along the way. And then finally, when you're ready, hit the submit button.
Awesome. That's perfect. So you could start it at home, like Amanda said, you could start it at home, and then you could bring your documents down to the in-person application assistance meeting to have them uploaded. You could do all of that. Okay. Application available on Wednesday, July 10th. No, Wednesday, July 17th. Okay, Wednesday, July 17th, the application will open and the application will close on August 17th. Okay, so you have a full 30 days to get your application in, and then you have 2 days in which we will assist you in getting your application in. So please don't miss the window. Okay. All right. What income years are you considering for the program? So your most recent, right? So you are going to submit your most recent W-2s, your most recent pay stubs, right? Your most recent Social Security income award. So it would be the most recent year, okay? How do I find out if my home is located in an eligible area? Okay, that's a good question. The City of Atlanta's GIS system, and we probably need to put that in the presentation maybe for next time, Amanda. But the City of Atlanta's GIS system will tell you whether or not your property is within the City of Atlanta. When you go to that GIS system, and if Michelle or Key put that information in the chat, please. Can you put that information in the chat? And I don't know if we have a chat on this version, maybe just the Q&A. But the City of Atlanta GIS system, when you put that information, your address, into that system, it will return a city council district, an NPU letter, and a neighborhood name. Okay, so obviously what you're looking for is the neighborhood name to cross-reference with the list of pilot area neighborhoods. And then that way you can determine whether or not you are in the pilot area. Okay. Let me see. You said that the random selection will be by parcel number. Will you reduce the numbers? Will you reduce the numbers publicly seen to ensure the public isn't able to enter my parcel ID on the Fulton County website and get my info? Great question.
We can absolutely do that. Yes.
Okay, so basically what you're saying, what I hear you saying, Amanda, is that when the random selection happens, the full parcel ID number will not be visible to the public to determine, so that they can see it and then take it and
That's correct. Correct. We don't want to display any PII or anybody's private secure information online, and we will work with the parcel ID numbers to determine how we can shorten them and ensure that we are still gathering the correct person when we have that random selection.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right. Will water bill count as a utility bill? Yes, water bill is a utility bill that you could utilize and bring in. I'm 58, will be 60 in December of 2025. I guess I will have to wait. Right, that's correct. You will have to wait. But again, we are going to open this application every year. So this is not a one and done situation, and we are going to raise all the money that we need to keep this thing going forever. Okay. I'm not tech savvy and I don't use text or email. How do I apply? Well, you just come down to the Atlanta Technical College on August 3rd or August 6th at 9 a.m. and we will all be there to assist you. Okay. And I'm sorry, guys, just trying to keep up with where I last was. All right. What if the homeowner filed an appeal for the valuation due? That's such a great question. And I think I missed talking about it. That's such a great question. If you have an active appeal at the time of application, you will be ineligible. Your appeal needs to be resolved in order for you to be eligible for the program. So if you have an active appeal that you are working on, then you will need to wait until next year to apply. Okay? Can you show the eligible neighborhood list again, or is it online? Yes, we can show it again. To whomever is managing our screen, we can put that back up for you. It will also be on the Invest Atlanta website. So if you go to the Invest Atlanta website, investatlanta.com/tax relief, that page will give you a link to the pilot area neighborhoods as well. Okay? If I'm turning 60 this year, I'm eligible. If you are turning 60 before July 17th, then you are eligible. If you are not turning 60 before July 17th, you will have to apply next year. Okay? All right, let me see. I think we've done that. Done that, and we've done that. All right. Any other questions? My question and answer box empty currently. What else? I know you guys, those are great questions. We appreciate it. Hopefully, we haven't crushed any souls today for the 58 and 59-year-olds. Does the program last for 15 years? The program is a 20-year program. You will have to recertify every year. If you are selected this year, you will have to recertify every year to confirm that you remain eligible for the program. But the program is a 20-year program. Once you are in the program, the commitment is that we will pay the increase in your taxes from your 2023 base for a period of 20 years, as long as you continue to qualify each year. Okay? Do we have to submit tax returns? We do not. I think, Amanda, please confirm with me. I don't think we are asking for tax returns.
No, we can do W-2s, we can do pay stubs. We don't necessarily need the tax returns. This is just to verify your income, not necessarily go through your entire tax return.
Is there a property value limit? Not currently. That's a really great question, though, because we have discussed creating a property value limit for the program, but as it stands currently, there is not. These are great questions, you guys. All right, I have a question. My mother has lived in her home for 50 years. However, the deed was in my father's name. He passed in 2021. At that time, the deed was put in her name. Would that make her ineligible? No, it would not make her ineligible. We have similar scenarios with our owner-occupied rehab program. If she can produce a marriage certificate that would indicate that she was married to your father, who obviously was on that deed for all of that time, then we can kind of piece that together to really prove that she has been there in that property for the required amount of time. Because we do understand that back in the day, in many cases, women were not on the deeds. So we want to give grace for that. Okay. If I appealed in 2022 and the council froze my tax amount to be the same as 2022 for the next 3 years, am I eligible? Well, you could apply, but the reality is you're not going to have a tax increase for us to pay. So you certainly could apply, but there wouldn't be any benefit to you for, the 3 years that your taxes have been frozen since 2022. You're not going to have any. So it doesn't make sense for you to apply until you begin to have, those increases. Okay. If I turn 60 August 10th, will I be eligible? You will not be eligible because you will not be 60 on July 17th. You will need to apply next year when you are 60 at the time of application. Okay. Independent contractors or self-employment don't have W-2s or pay stubs for income. Is there a Schedule C? Yep. You know what? I didn't talk about those. Yes, and we would ask for what do we say? I'm sorry, a year-to-date profit and loss statement. Hold on, it's on the landing page, guys. If I can get back to the landing page, I have 8 million things open right now. It's on the landing page what we ask for self-employed folks. Okay. Let me find it.
In most cases, a Schedule C for a business owner does work because it will pretty much highlight the profit and loss in the Schedule C in that tax
That's
document.
exactly right. Okay. 1099, year-to-date profit and loss, and most recent tax returns. Those are the documents that we're requesting for self-employed. Most recent tax return, 1099, bank statements, year-to-date profit and loss statements. Okay. I knew there was a list somewhere, and I apologize for not saying that presentation. I'll make sure that I make that update. But it will allow homeowner to be a part of the program. So Robbie, I don't know what the second part of this question. What was the first part of the question? You have to put a complete question in the system because I don't recall what your first part of the question was. Okay, hit me back with the whole question. How does the program help when you are at 65 and you get exemptions? I don't think, Pamela, that you get 100% exemptions. I don't think, and we've kind of talked about this as well. There are still possible increases to your taxes. We did some research, and we're still looking at it, but we came to the conclusion that you're not 100% of exempt from all taxes that would increase your liability. Okay. Will this Zoom be presented again? Miss Linda, it is being recorded and it will be on the Invest Atlanta website for additional viewing. Okay. There we are. Meaning, if the freeze on the property tax, we apply and be selected, and when the freeze drops, homeowner is eligible. Okay, let me just make sure that I understand. So the original question was the one about the frozen taxes for 3 years. If you apply while your taxes are frozen and you get into the program, and then when the freeze drops and you continue to recertify, you would be in the program. I would say yes. I would say yes. It's possible if you are randomly selected. Sure, it's possible. Mm-hmm. I think I missed one. Is there a limit amount of, I'm sorry, it's moving. Is there a limit amount on the tax increase that the program will pay? There's not currently. That's not to say that we wouldn't enact one. This is a pilot program, and we want to make sure that, we're able to serve as many people as we can for as long as we can. So currently there's not, but that's not to say that there wouldn't be in the future. Hey, come on. I know y'all got a few more. No? Okay. I saw someone's hand up earlier. Hopefully they've gone over to the Q&A and put their question in the chat, because that is the way that we're answering questions. So hopefully you did that and you got your questions answered. It is 6:50. We are going once. We are going twice. Any additional questions? We're happy to answer. All right.
Okay. Well, seeing as there are no more questions, at least for now, we want to thank you all again for attending this webinar. And as mentioned earlier, the recording will be available, and all of the information on the program, including a detailed FAQ, answers to these incredible questions, can be found on the program website. And so again, please keep in mind those key dates. The application window opens next Wednesday, July 17th. Closes a month afterwards on Saturday, August 17th. And please make sure to mark your calendars for our in-person events. One, again, is this upcoming Saturday. Bring all your additional questions to us for the live in-person information session, as well as on August 3rd and August 6th for in-person application support. We thank you so much for attending, and we look forward to seeing you at our in-person events. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.